Have you ever wanted to learn how to embroider on ribbon? Well, we're going to do that today. Hi, I'm Reva with Quality Sewing and Vacuum, and we are going to tackle embroidering on ribbon. It's actually really, really simple to do. And I'm going to show you, I have a couple of things right here, and I'm going to show you more up close what we've done here. But I'm going to show you a couple of ways of, or one way to really get it hooped right, and then also other hoop aids that you might have on your machine. So what are you going to need when you embroider on ribbon? Well, ribbon can be really pretty, and see how this one has like a shine to it. It's a satin ribbon. You might have grosgrain that has the ridges, you know, like a potato chip, or you might have sheer ribbon. Those things are all just absolutely beautiful, but what we want to make sure we do is we have a needle that's going to go through the fibers of the ribbon without causing it to pucker or pull a thread and it make it shred and things like that. So we're going to use a sharp or a microtex needle, and that's going to be really important to use. We're going to use a wash away stabilizer, so that way we're not pulling against the threads on our embroidery. And then also, this is really important, we're going to use a topper. Now, if you are not sure about how to use wash away stabilizers and toppers and things, we did do a video, and you can find that on our YouTube channel, and that is all about wash away stabilizers. So check that out, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to hoop our hoop with wash away stabilizer, and this is the wash away stabilizer with this tacky surface to it, so it's kind of like a sticker. And what we're going to do is we're going to affix our ribbon to it, because how else are you going to get a ribbon in the hoop, right? It just doesn't go. So I'm going to slip that off to the side. Now the paper side is up, and let me loosen the hoop a little bit just so I can get the stabilizer in there with the paper side up, and then we're just going to seat this down into there, and I don't have it loose enough, so I'm going to loosen it up a little bit more, and there we've got it in. And I'm going to countersink that a little bit, and what that means is I'm going to put my thumbs on the inner hoop, my fingers on the outer hoop, and I push my thumbs down just so I get a little bit more snug in there. Now, this is tough to hoop, so you might be able to look at all that. I'm able to tighten that back up a lot. You just have to loosen it up quite a bit to get the paper in there. Now, wash away stabilizer is a lot like fabric. It feels like fabric, so it's really soft and flexible, but once you get the wash away on here and the paper, the adhesive and the paper, it gets stiff. So now we want to remove the paper from the inside of the hoop. And this is OESD wash away stabilizer, so it washes away just with warm water. You don't have to do anything to it. And to get the paper off, we're going to score the paper and then remove the paper. But you don't want to cut through the actual stabilizer. That's not good. And so what I'm going to do is use the OESD scoring tool. I don't know what they did to create this, but it's awesome. It actually does cut the paper and not the stabilizer. So let me get the corner there, and we'll just rip him off, and then we'll have all of our sticky exposed. And just tear them off. You don't have to be fancy. Don't have to be fancy dancy. Okay, now we're going to talk about the anatomy of the hoop for a second here. Okay, so if you take a look at the hoop has what I call nubbins. It has these raised markers that show the vertical center of the hoop and the horizontal centers of the hoop. Can you see those little bumps right there? I don't know of a single hoop that doesn't have these on the hoop. So look for those. Depending on your hoop and your machine, you might find that the nubbins do not point to the center of the hoop. They may be off, like down lower. And that all depends on the machine, what the foot and the mechanism of the machine look like. And so it may be different, but know that wherever those nubbins line up, that's going to be the center of your hoop. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take myself some ribbon, and I'm going to get a piece of my brown ribbon just to show you. And then I think I'll do a white one because I think I can show you the white one pretty easily. Now I'm going to set my hoop to the side for a second because what I want to do is find the center of my ribbon so our writing is centered. Okay, so I'm going to take the little ribbon here and I'm going to measure it. This ribbon is 1.5 inches. So that, well, it's just shy of 1.5 inches. So that would be 3/4 of an inch. And I'm a little bit shy, so I'm going to go 1 1/8, I think, is going to be about center. And I'm going to use my handy dandy, I love this. This is a Choco liner, and it's going to give me a nice white line on my ribbon. Okay, can you see that okay? Oh, hey, it stuck to me. Okay, so now I have a nice white line. Okay, now what you do from here is we're going to get it affixed to our hoop. So for the hooping, we're going to set this down and I'm going to match up the lines of my, can you see the lines of the mat okay? I've got my nubbins lined up with my mat. So you can use your mat to help you align things. So if I want to take this guy, I can take him and I'm going to set him right along this line right here. And now that is set straight in the hoop. It's ready to go. See, this is really easy, isn't it? Now, what kind of things would you use a embroidered ribbon for? Well, you could use it for a bouquet or a sash, or what about a beautiful wedding present? You can put the bride and groom's name on it. You can do all sorts of different things, and I have some other ideas for you too here in a minute. And now let me take this white one, and I don't want to put them right next to each other. You'll see why here in a second. So I'm actually going to use a different line. I'm going to use the 1/4 inch alignment here and line that up. So now we've got this wonderful ribbon all ready to go. Okay, nice and straight. Oh, you can totally do this also with leashes and collars. Same thing applies. Okay, same rules. And another one that I have here for you that I think this is really fun is this is one of those ribbons, or it's a twill tape that is from a fat quarter bundle, but the back side is white, or maybe it's ivory, because a lot of them are natural color. So you could use this as a name tape and put it on the edge of a blanket with the kid's name. So when he goes to somebody's house for a sleepover, he knows that that's his pillow or his sleeping bag or his blanket, whatever you want to do there. You can also put it inside a coat. So you can do all sorts of things like that, because you know, if it's sewn in, it's not going anywhere. So let's take a look at this now. So, well, actually, I guess I should show you the samples a little bit more before I show you that. So this one is done on sheer ribbon, and that turned out, okay, I get it, see if I can angle it the right way, because I don't feel like I'm geographically challenged today. But this was all done on sheer ribbon. Now, one thing that you might do when you're doing your embroidery is to use the same color thread in the bobbin, so that way you get a great look coming and going, right? And I did these with these ones as well, but I haven't taken them out of the hoop yet because I want to show you a little bit about that. But you can just do a name. If your machine allows you to bring in decorative stitches into the hoop, then you can actually add those in as well. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at the next thing that we're going to do. Now I have my white line right here on this. I'll be able to see it really well because I'm sitting so close to the machine. So you might have a little bit more of a challenge with that. But we're going to use a wash away topper as well. And what this is going to do is give our thread and needles an even surface. So for example, on this one, since it's the grosgrain and it has the ridges, you might end up with shaggy letters because the needle is going to fall one way or another. With wash away stabilizer or topper over it, it's gonna be smooth, and so the needle won't deflect. So since we have a sticky stabilizer, we can simply just get this and have it stick down right there over the ribbon itself, and it gives it a nice smooth surface. And I'm going to get rid of this extra. Don't throw it away, because you can use it for your next project. And this also gives a really nice surface if you have a ribbon that has a texture. You're using a dog collar that has a lot of, it's a coarser weave. This is great to do for handles for tote bags and lunch boxes and things like that. In fact, the ribbon is a great idea if you have a purchase lunchbox and you want to add the name onto it. You can just embroider onto the ribbon and then apply the ribbon to the tote bag or the bag handle. Okay, so now you probably can't see the white line in there anymore, but it's there. But let's talk about the other ribbon. Now that I have a piece over the top of it, I can use a wash away marker. Now you could use a wash away marker right on the ribbon, but this worked out really, really well to be able to take, let's measure him. Okay, so I'm going to take my ruler, lay it down, and I'm going to just draw a line with my ruler. Now, it's light blue, so I know you're going to have a hard time seeing that, but that's okay, because reason you want to use it is because you can see it and it's going to go away. I have a ballpoint pen. I'm going to redraw it so you actually can see it. Now, this is on stabilizer that we're going to remove, so the chances are it might not show when we're, oh, it doesn't want to write. That's fine. I have plan C. A Sharpie. You definitely don't want to use a Sharpie in your thing, but I got one out just in case. And so, but if you use a wash away type of a marker, then you can see, look, you can see that really well, right? But then it will come right off either way. Okay, so now I have my center line there and I have my center line there, but let's just work on this one because you can see it really well. Okay. So when we go to embroider this, you're going to slip it into the machine. But before I do, I have one more thing to do. I want to put in a bobbin that matches my needle thread, because then that way, when we're working with a ribbon, you're probably going to see both sides of it. Now, if you're doing a ribbon that you're going to sew onto a quilt or something where it's not going to be seen, then you can just leave in a standard embroidery bobbin. But we're changing it because we're going to be doing a ribbon that would be visible from both sides. Think about how fun this would be if you're going to a birthday or a shower or something. You could actually customize the ribbon. That would be really, really thoughtful. Okay, let's take a look at the machine really quick. We're going to go over here and we're going to bring in a font. So in this machine, and most machines, there are fonts. So I'm going to go to the font here, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to write a name. Now, there's lots of fonts to choose from, and each machine is different on the style of font and how many. I want to show you something at the bottom of this one. If you look way down here, these last three are tiny little letters. So if you look in your list, check and see if you have any tiny letters, because that's how I made the little tiny date on the ribbon that I showed you earlier. So let's go here. I think I want to see what that one looks like. Now, this machine has the ability to see a preview of what the letters are going to look like. And I'm going to say, yep, that's scripty. I really don't want scripty. I just want more block letters. So let's go here. Oh, well, that's still scripty too. I can't make up my mind. There we go. Let's do this one. So this has upper and lower case. It also has numbers and letters and then special characters as well. So I'm simply going to say okay. And this is going to be different depending on your machine, but it's going to be, it's all going to be okay. You just look at your book, or if you haven't taken a lesson, you can come into our stores and we'll show you. Okay, so I've got my A, and I'm going to go lowercase L, Y, S, S, A. Alyssa. I like that. Now, Sometimes on a machine, you have a choice between 3 different sizes. This particular one allows me to actually make it whatever size I want. And this is 30 millimeters, which is just over an inch, which is not bad for that big ribbon that we have. So I think I'm going to take it down to 25 millimeters. And if you look right here, that says the actual size, overall size of the full from top to under the descender on the Y. So it's a 1.3 inches. So I need to go a little bit smaller to make sure that it will fit on our ribbon. Okay, so now once you have your name, you set it. So you're going to need to do the math to make sure that it's the right height. Okay, and I'm going to go to edit and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. Okay, pretty easy. Then okay. And then we're going to move it. So right now, the needle is over the middle of my name. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over. Actually, I'm going to go, let's go to embroidery so we can get there. I'll go to layout and move. And then we're going to move that over. And now we can watch the needle and get it positioned right where we want it to be. And I'll lower the needle down. Oop, I went too far. So I'm going to go back a little bit. Get my needle all the way up and I can get that placed right where I want it to be. So now that's going to sew right in the middle of our line right there. And let me show you while we're there. See, the needle goes right down into that line. And since we used the grid on our cutting mat to align the ribbon, we know that the ribbon is in there straight. It's not hard. Just take a moment, make sure that your hoop is lined up with your cutting mat, and then that you put the ribbon down in alignment with that. Now, if you have a machine like the Brother or Baby Lock that has the camera in it, or the Pfaff and the Viking that you can send the images to, that's really easy because we can actually, I'm going to say okay and return. Let's go back here. And we can actually use the camera to scan to show right on the screen where the fabric is in our hoop. So whether you're working with a pocket or you're working with a pocket or whatever you're working with, it shows up. Take a look at that. Let me zoom in so you can see. We've got it placed really nice. Isn't that great? Ta-da! Okay, so we're just going to go to embroidery. Let's just let this stitch out really quick. And I'm going to tell it that actually that I want it to do monochrome because I don't want to have it stop and I don't want to have to keep changing the thread or tell it I'm changing the thread. So we're just going to let this guy run. And then let's talk about getting the ribbon off out of the hoop. So what I did with this one is I actually cut out the stabilizer from behind it. And then I just ran it under warm water and it rinsed right out. Okay. But I do have a little bit easier trick for you here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tear off the wash away topper, because you can tear most of that away and then it doesn't even matter. You can just rip it right off, okay? Because it does perforate just like a postage stamp does, and you can just tear it off, okay? And that will get rid of that from the top of your ribbon. And when I pull it away, you notice that there's no, well, you might not be able to notice, but there's no more blue mark because the blue mark was on my topper. Okay. Now, this is all wash away, so you can cut it away, but these are really cool. This is the Aqua Touch markers from R&K, and they're empty, and there's the thick nib one, the thin, and then a brush, and you fill them with whatever you want. You could fill it with Best Press, or this one I just put water, and I could just come around the edge of my embroidery and just get it wet right around the edge, and then that will cause it to start to just tear right away. Okay, so that's an easy way for you to get it, and maybe the brush style would have been easier. I don't know. You can take your pick of what you like, and then you just tear it away. that's really, really simple and easy to do. Okay, really fun. So you can customize your work very, very easily. And it looks like it's mad at me. It says I need to rethread, and I don't know why, but that's what it says to do. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to cut the thread and just show you what we've got going on here. There we go. Okay. So even though it did not finish up, it still is doing a beautiful job, and I'll get Alyssa all made here, and then we'll just pull this off. And look, that's going to be perfect. The Sharpie didn't even show through. All right. So in all, it's really easy to get your ribbon with a name or a monogram or whatever you want to have on there. You can do it very, very simply. Just take your time. Use the wash away sticky stabilizer. You hoop it with the paper side up. Then remove the paper from the interior of the hoop and lay it on your cutting table and align the nubbins with the marks on your cutting table and simply lay down your ribbon right on top of it. Make sure you make your center mark so you know where center is, and choose a font that's not wider than your ribbon, because then you got to do it again, right? And then just find that the center of the design hits on your center line and just embroider it with confidence. It's easy to do, and I think you're going to have lots of fun things. Remember, Christmas is coming. You can start now. Who needs gift tags? You can make a ribbon with everybody's name on it, and they'll just absolutely adore it. So, oh, and with that, you should do those fabric gift bags with the drawstrings that have ribbons, and put the name on the ribbon, and then you can reuse it every year, and next year you won't have any work to do at all. Yeah, there you go. All right, so have fun with that, and join us next week for another How Do I?